these people don't know me, I don't know these people, I need to make my investment back. The funny thing about alignment though is it changes over time. You can't chase freedom. Okay, this is off the record. Hi bestie, how are you? I missed you guys. Honestly, I feel like it's been a hot minute because I didn't film last week. I've just been living. I've just trying to spend a little more time being more present with my loved one and just figuring life out. That's the whole point, right? But I want to share with you guys, I came across this wonderful person. She's so lovely at this run club, and it just like really reinforced that sometime in life, the best connections you have, the best friendship you have is just right there waiting for you. And oftentimes I have met people who become such a meaningful part of my life. Those connections happen, and I was just thinking that wow, I can't believe that, you know, that's how we met. Because to be honest, I have moved to Vietnam for 6 months now, and I wanted to join this run club for a while. I have been following them on social media for a little bit, but the first time I signed up for the run, I was like, okay, you know, these people don't know me, I don't know these people, there's no shame, there's no fears, but like, what are you scaring of, Hailey? But the night before roll around, right, so the run club starts at like 6 o'clock in the morning, the night before roll around, and I was just finding all these excuses not to go. But I ended up didn't go to the first run. And the second run, it was like a paid kind of event, so you gotta pay an entrance fee, but it's like the run, and then you have a little community group kind of thing, yoga, and just catch up time. So I signed up for that, and I think it was the fact that it was a paid event. It's kind of like make me have to go because I'm this kind of person that I need to make my investment back. So I did win, and that's how I met Slump. And one of our conversation actually brought me to this episode. I want to tell you exactly why you can't chase freedom, because it doesn't exist. Long story short, you can stop watching the video now. Please do stay, let me elaborate. I cannot stress enough how meaningful and how enlightening this conversation had been, because for a long time I had this internal war of freedom and stability because I want both. Sometimes I was just like to myself, like, girl, just pick a side. But I want stability. I also want freedom. Freedom to explore, freedom to create, freedom to just do things without being Cajun. I don't even know how to describe that feeling. If you have feelings like that, if you feel that kind of way, leave a comment below and let me know I'm not the only one. I don't know how it got brought up in our conversations. We really just like get to know each other because this was literally the first time we met each other. Anyways, freedoms and stabilities came up, and somebody told me some things that very interesting. She thinks freedom doesn't really exist. At first I was like, are you sure? So what have I been chasing this whole time? And how she explained it to me is that there is always a blueprint. There's always limitations in the blueprint. There's always a framework. And she used an example as even as an artist, which is probably the job that you would think have the most freedom in the whole entire world. Freedom to create, freedom to express yourself. But she explained to me that even with artists, there's still this kind of limitation. You either choose to create and express your full creativity, your own very unique belief, your own very unique perspective, and risk nobody buying this. And the financial aspect is definitely a liability. Or you risk creating some things that fit within the mold of what people understand, what people buy. A safer options financially. Or you as an artist, but you risk downsizing your own creativity. You risk shrinking yourself and getting into the mold. When I just really think about that example, it was just whoa me. All these time, I was trying to chase this kind of freedom and have this intense tug of war between stability, wanting to be stable physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, obviously. At the same time, not wanting to feel Cajun. Lately, I realized that the stability is actually what taking away your freedom. Because if you're choosing stability, it's gonna come with responsibility. It's going to come with these limits. It's gonna come with these restraints. What's the word I'm looking for? Chains, in a sense, to hold you back at certain aspect, and that means taking away your freedom. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope it does. That is why it has always felt like such a war for me. Now I know freedom doesn't really exist. Striving for stability even take away more and more of whatever sense of freedom that I'm trying to chase. So what I think we all looking for is not freedom. What we're looking for, it's really alignment. So alignment, here's the description if you're not sure what it is. The funny thing about alignment though is it changes over time. Just like how your priorities and your values stack differently over time. There will be certain period of time where you value your career and put that first on your list. You're gonna be climbing the ladder and trying to get to the top. There will be time where your family is going to come first, and naturally the career for second, third, or even fourth. There will be time where your health comes first, and that is what you're focusing on. So I think all this time we're really just beating ourselves up, chasing something that doesn't even exist, which is why it seems so impossible to be in your 20s, because you have a sense of what you want and you're trying to chase it, and then all of a sudden you realize that what you're chasing has not existed really, and it's kind of feel like a lie. You have been living a period of your time as a lie because you don't even know, and it's a really confusing time, but at the same time I feel like it's very enlightening for the future. And I definitely feel like learning that what we are after all along was alignment, not really freedom, in a sense, not only make me feel a little bit more, I don't want to say the word free, but relieved in a sense, because I know alignment changed with time. There's no certain framework for alignment, right? This year I am in a period of time where personal life, my family come first, and then my career comes second, whereas last year my career had come first. I was all up in there in business and everything. In a sense, I was beating myself up because I was feeling so guilty over not having enough time with my family, which I shouldn't have felt that way, just because that was just the period of time where my priority was stacked differently. Because it was stacked differently then, it led the way for me to be able to focus on my family and have the capability to have that at the top of the priority this year. And I think that's what alignment is. It's what feels right in the moment, what creates most meaning, what makes you feel the most whole and fulfilling in the moment. And obviously that change with time, just like your perspective of happiness, your perspective of success changes over time. Our alignment change over time. We cannot keep chasing something that doesn't exist, trying to fit ourselves within the framework, feeling like the more we chase, the further it gets away. And I think that's why it felt so hard, because not only freedom doesn't exist, there's always limitation within the blueprint. Now you know. Stability also takes away from freedom because it's create responsibilities. The more responsibilities, the more problem. Not really problem, but the more consideration you need to take. That is why learning about alignment and understanding alignment in our life is really one of those lessons that only time can teach. And I think that's why we should be less hard on ourselves and give ourselves some grace, because you didn't know what you didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, but I do know now. And in a sense, it has made my life so much lighter to not having to chase anymore. If you know what I mean. Chasing is exhausting, and knowing that alignment, what is meant for you, what makes you feel whole, what create the most meaning for you in that period of time, it's going to come to you. Alignment, things that are meant for you, always is going to find you. It's not going to pass you by. If it's passed you by, it wasn't meant for you. So that's another lesson to put into practice. Trust yourself, trust your decision, trust your capability and the path that you are on. Because actually I want to share with you guys this quote. I read this on Pinterest. Is your intuitions know. Everything else that come after, it's just a negotiation with fear. These days, whenever I feel like I'm negotiating with myself, when it comes to work, when it's come to working on my business, certain things and goals that I have, and I kind of feel like I'm losing spark for things, I try to remember the first moment, the excitement, the spark that I had at the start. That was my intuition. I need what I could create, and I did really build something from nothing. So I just need to trust that capabilities, that even in a slow season, even in the quiet days when nobody clapping for me, as long as I just keep taking the small action and trust in my vision, that's all I need to do. I don't need to be beating myself up. I don't need to be negotiating with fear. Everything else, all the little voices in my head, it's just negotiation with fear. And fear is there to protect us. Fear served me well for a certain period of time. It's given me the life I have today. It's created the Hailey that's sitting here today. But some of these fear, I don't need it anymore. So again, it's not about trying to shut down the fear and quiet the fear, to recognize it. That's thank you for protecting me. I don't need you anymore. And that is the whole point. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say for this episode. I'm trying to aim for shorter video because I feel like I yap on too much, and I'm trying to cram too many topics into one, because when I start talking, I just remember thing that I want to talk about. But that is all just off the record, by the way. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me this week. If you like more of these conversations about life, navigating your 20s, learning to cope with life in real life, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week.